it's Medium Jenny Lee. I'm here to explain a little bit about what you're going to be watching. This was recorded as a live Twitch stream on Friday, October 24th, 2025. With all of the 3i Atlas hubbub floating around on the internet, we wanted to check out and see for ourselves what was really going on through a remote viewing exercise. And it turns out that there was also an energy present that wanted us to have a Q&A with them to answer our questions. So as you proceed through this video, you will hear me talking to the chat. We will be discussing what remote viewing is. We will be then proceeding to do the remote viewing exercise. I left the 4+ minutes of time for remote viewing that we did during the stream. If you also wanted to try the remote viewing exercise, you could go to the timestamp in the description box below and click on guided meditation instructions and follow through with the remote viewing exercise. After that, there was a Q&A session. I do not know the energy that came through to answer our questions. I used to really try to figure out who was connecting with us for these types of things, and I have decided that we don't necessarily need to know, and they will tell us who they are if they want us to know. I just have to trust my skills and trust what comes through. So that section is us gathering questions that we wanted to ask this energy and then proceeding with the channeled information. And then at the end, there is a little bit of discussion about what happened. So if you are interested in only a certain part, there is timestamps for all of the different sections of this video. I hope that you enjoy what came through and what we received and what we viewed. And if you decided to remote view yourself to see what is up for yourself, please share what you discovered down in the comments, because I would love to know about it. So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoy this remote viewing and channeling information about 3i Atlas. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to be doing a little remote viewing exercise, which you can participate in if you want. You can also remote view this if you would like, or if you just want to see what comes through for myself and other people, that's fine too. It is not required that you participate. It's just a fun little thing we like to do around here. Sometimes we like to do some remote viewing practice and experimentation, and there's a really interesting thing happening right now that I want to know more about. And of course, we can never trust the internet on anything, so we're gonna look at it ourselves and see. What the hell? For anybody who's not familiar with what that means, remote viewing, the term remote viewing comes from some really secretive, weird, crazy stuff that the CIA was doing to spy on the Russians. But I do not do remote viewing in a calculated mathematical way, because we already had this conversation about math. And people that learn how to do remote viewing through the CIA do math. We're not doing that. The type of remote viewing that we do around here is more of a putting your consciousness in a higher state and setting an intention to experience through your clairs, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairvoyance, etc., which is all of your senses, plus knowing. So experiencing things in a extrasensory way through all of your senses, plus just knowing things. And so in the remote viewing sense, you're trying to view a time or space that is not within your own time or space. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to remote view this 3i Atlas comet object, because there's been some speculation of whether it's a comet or not. Scientists want to assume that it's a comet, but there's a lot of things that have made them question, because it doesn't act like a normal comet, doesn't have a tail like a normal comet. At first, I couldn't even find the damn tail for it. And the woo-woo world is really going into some craziness about this comet, this object, because there's a lot of weird stuff coming out about that. I listened to a video of someone's higher self explaining what they thought of what they were saying it was, and that was interesting. So I want to know more. I think some of us in our Team Weird community would like to know more. Let's get to looking at some information about this 3i Atlas, because that's what we're going to do tonight. So just a little quick Google search. It was discovered on July 1st of this year. There's been speculation as to what exactly it is, but they're saying as of right now that it's a comet, but it hasn't been acting exactly like comets that we are familiar with. And it is coming from outside of our solar system. It's only the third known object to come from outside of our solar system. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, you know, let's make sure that we put an emphasis on known object. Because how much of the history of Earth is when we wouldn't have known what the hell was happening? A lot. So it's only the third object that we as humans who have been tracking the stars in the sky for our very, very short period of time. It's only the third one that we've known about that's come from outside of our solar system. As of right now, it is behind the sun from our perspective. So we can't see it right now. And last night, Frosty said that he thought we were going to be able to see it, and it was going to be the closest to Earth in December, which I had heard that it was going to be the closest to Earth like next week. So I don't know if it's just fake information flying around, misinformation, or people, you know, like maybe they just don't have a clue, because that's usually what the case is. But right now, the Google AI is saying that it's going to come from behind the other side of the sun in early December. And we'll be able to see it with telescopes. So I don't know if we'll actually be able to see it with our eyeballs. You know, it's so flippin' huge. You would think that maybe we could. But, you know, space is really, really gigantic. So we don't know. They're saying that it poses no threat to us. Poses no threat. It will not come closer than 1.8 AU from Earth. What is AU? AU stands for astronomical unit, a measurement used for the distance within our solar system. 1 AU is defined as the average distance between the Earth and the Sun, and is approximately 149.6 million kilometers, or 93 million miles. 1 AU is 93 million miles. So what did it say? It was going to be 1.8. So 2 AU would be 186. Oh, see, we're mathing here, people. We're doing some math. We said we don't math, but we're doing math. So 2 AUs would be 186 million miles. So it's a little less than that. It's a little less than 186 million miles is how close it's going to be. Very interesting. But now we've all learned a little bit more about the three-eye atlas. We're going to prepare ourselves to do some remote viewing. If you would like to participate in this and do your own remote viewing, because many of us here have done this together before in the past, to remote view things, just for shits and giggles, and just to experiment and have some fun, trying to see what we get, because it tends to be that the more of us that practice this together, the more interesting our results are. Because usually each one of us sees something different, but at the same time, there's things that run through it that it's like, how could we possibly have picked up on the same things? So it makes it very, very interesting. So if you would like to participate in the remote viewing exercise, please do. I'm going to turn the alerts off. We're going to get into a little meditative state here. I've already set an intention for the night, but I'll say it again. And then we're going to see what we can see. We're going to see what we can see. We'll give it, I'll set a timer or something so that I'm not, because I can just go out and be gone forever. We'll set a timer. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about what we saw for those of you who would like to participate. And we'll see how it goes. Because I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like it's possible for me to have some sort of channeling or something about this. I don't know. I don't know yet, but I got that feeling earlier. So, and right now I have a lot of tinglies. So we'll see how it goes. I think that to start out with, let's just do 4 minutes. But I'm not going to start the 4 minutes until we get through the beginning shenanigans here. We're going to begin getting ready for our remote viewing. So if you want to participate, make sure you are prepared. If you want to use some rocks, some stones, you have to be comfortable. If you need to be in a quiet place. If you're participating, I'm going to run you through it a little bit here. So let's close our eyes. We're going to take a deep breath. Holding the breath for a second and then exhaling. And I've already done my grounding for today. But if you're participating and you would like to ground yourself before we start, I will run you through it real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on all the beginning things because I want to spend more time remote viewing this object. But I'll run you through it if you're participating and you would like some assistance. Take a deep breath in. Hold it for a second. Exhale. Feel your body starting to relax. Breathing in very deeply with each breath, holding it for a second and exhaling. Bring your awareness to your feet. Imagine roots going out from the bottom of your feet down into the earth. Grounding you to the earth. Now bring your awareness to your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine, and imagine it lighting up and being activated as if it were a light moving up to your sacral chakra, which is just below your belly button. Imagining that one activating or lighting up, opening up, however you want to imagine it. Moving up to your solar plexus chakra, which is just below your breastbone. Same thing, imagine it activating, lighting up, opening, what have you. Moving up to your heart chakra, which is in the center of your chest, just to the side of your heart. Activating and opening your heart chakra. Moving up to your throat chakra, which of course is in your throat. Opening and activating and lighting up. Moving up through your head to your third eye, which of course is in your forehead. If that's where you see it, some people see it in a different place. Imagining it activating and lighting up, opening up, and then going to the top of your head, the crown chakra. Opening up, and the light of yourself and the light of earth going up and out into space, through the ceiling, through the sky, through the atmosphere, out into outer space. And we're setting the intention as we're sending our consciousness up and out. We would like to remote view this 3-eye atlas object. We would like to know what it looks like, what it is, what it's made of. If we're allowed to know any information about it, what kind of effects might it have on us, on our planet? Is there a purpose for it to be here? Whatever kind of questions that you have about it, set your intention now as we proceed with our remote viewing. And now I'm going to turn my stopwatch on, my timer. We're going to do 4 minutes starting right now. Remote viewing the 3-eye atlas object. right. If you are remote viewing, it's time to bring yourself back to your physical self. Moving your arms and legs, your hands and feet, stretching. Oh my goodness. I went over my time like by about 36 seconds. I didn't feel it buzzing. If you participated in the remote viewing and you would like to share what you found, please put it in the chat. Type it up, share it with us. I'm going to write down some notes real quick, and then I'm going to look at the chat and I'll share with you what I experienced. CMC said, from very far away in a large explosion. Bartrosite glass carbon smells of sulfur connected to it and communicate. Do you have a name? No, we do not have names. You can call us a wanderer and have been on this path for millennia. I am alone, but we are many. We are a consciousness, and we are no threat, and enjoy the flyby. Oh wow, CMC. 1, it's very still and desolate there. 2, I don't sense an imminent danger. And 3, it came from something much bigger. Oh wow, Luna. You saw a bunch of hands releasing the piece. Oh wow. Luda says 3 things popped out for me. Some kind of triangle formation of eyes or eye shapes. Steel material, especially at the core, has a ticking function mechanism like a clock or a metronome. Oh my goodness, Luda. Okay, so what I experienced was I was like right up on it, and it was so massively huge. And it made me feel so incredibly small that it was really overwhelming. And then I had the sensation of moving at an extremely incredible speed, of which I also felt very overwhelmed. And it was like I could feel like the rushing sensation of this thing moving faster than we can comprehend, you know? And that was very overwhelming. And then it was so overwhelming to me because of the size and the speed that I couldn't stay with it. I was being like pulled away from it because it was too much. But I did get a feeling of this buzzing. It was like a vibratory buzzing that was happening with it, that it was like putting off. And I don't know if it was the object itself that was putting off the buzzing, or if it was the fact that it was moving so fast that was causing this vibration, or maybe both. I don't know. But the whole thing was very overwhelming, and I couldn't stay with it. I forgot to mention I was literally swaying side to side lightly, which made me think of a metronome function. I wonder, Wuda, if we were both experiencing that vibration thing, when you were experiencing it as like a ticking and I was experiencing it as like a, you know. CMC said, I just remember that I tried to stand on it and was unable. Yeah, like I couldn't stay with it. It was too much. It was too much. I assume it could be similar to the sound the highway makes when car windows are open, but to a crazy different other level, Mountain, like not comprehensible sensation, feeling, and sound. And that's why I couldn't stay there but for a second, because it was too much. And then I was told that that instead of me trying to continue to remote view, that I should ask questions, that we should do a Q&A. So why don't we write down a few questions, maybe like 5 or 6 questions, and there's some kind of energy that would like to answer our questions. And it might turn into a channeling kind of thing where I start just by I start by just reiterating what I'm hearing, but then it might start flowing to where it's just really some other thing talking. Okay, Luna wants to know, what type of effect will it have on our energy? I think that's a great question, Luna. Absolutely great question. Can you share some wisdom from what you know of the universe? Ooh, CMC, I love that. Share wisdom about the universe. What are you made of? Widow wants to know. That's a good question too. We've got lots of good questions. What's the goal? What is the goal? When we see the biggest impact on our consciousness. See, Love Shines has been keeping up with all the woo-woo people's talk about it. Are they not coming here? Where are they going? Where are they going? Okay, let's ask these questions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. That's the number I said originally was 6. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tricky because I'm going to have to open my eyes in between so I can read the questions. But let me get connected with this energy that I've been connecting with for this whole time, because it's very powerful and strong. Okay. All right, we're setting the intention that whatever energy is here for this activity that we've just completed of this remote viewing, that we would like to ask some questions, and I think that you're here to help answer them. So we'd like to connect with you for this Q&A session, of which I was told we should do. So thank you, please, and thank you. Okay, somebody said I'm ready. Okay, so our first question is, what type of effect will this have on our energy? And I think we can be specific and say the energy of the planet and also the energy of us humans. What kind of effect is it going to have on the energy of the planet and the energy of us? Please and thank you. Firstly, the Earth. As you are aware, the Earth is in a transitionary period. Many words have been used for this transition. Some of you refer to it as the shift, and there are other terms. This is truly happening. This is a real thing that is really happening to your planet. It is shifting into a different vibratory state that will cause upheaval for many things, and has the potential, when settled, to be a very different planet vibrationally, and this would be, of course, affecting humans as well. That is not what you are asking. You are asking what effect this object will have on your energy, but that needed to be prefaced so that you understand the answer. The Earth needs the energy of this magnitude, of this object, this, you all are collectively referring to it as a comet. That's not exactly what it is, but it is important. It is necessary. It was ordained that it should be coming by at this time precisely, for this is needed for your planet, for its vibratory shifting into a new state. It is important. How will it affect you as a human race? It will depend, and it will be different for each individual It is hard to give a collective answer to this question. We will attempt to answer to the best of our ability. First, let me say this instrument is being attacked. I am. Something is like stabbing me in the neck. It doesn't want me to share this information. You can stop that now, thanks. Hold on, this is me talking. I have to put up some protection because there's something that doesn't want me to share this. Okay. I did my bubble, I told it to fuck off, and then Mama Ghana showed up, and my my Maya priest guy, and they started clearing the space with their noise makers, because they have very similar things, you know, like she's got a staff that she beats on the floor, and then he has this staff that has like shells and beads and things that hang off of it, and he shakes it, and they both clear the energy. So thank you guys. I think we can continue now. We had a good connection going with whatever is answering our questions. I think we were on... Oh yeah, they were saying that it's going to be collectively they don't know how to explain it, because each person's going to experience it differently, but they were saying that they are going to try to explain it the best that they can, how it affects us collectively. Okay. All right, you guys can proceed now. Thank you. Collectively, this object's vibratory state of movement and its own pulse, if you will. Of course, this is not a correct word for it. Does not have a pulse like your flesh and blood body does, but it does have its own pulse in a sense that it projects a specific frequency, if you will. Is not quite the right word, but we cannot find a proper word in your vocabulary other than frequency to explain this matter. It is a frequency, if you will, a vibratory frequency of some sort that it does radiate out from it, not just because of its movement. It is from within, it is part of it, and it is sending it out. And that frequency is needed for your planet. We have mentioned this previously, that was important for you individually. You will experience it differently depending on your own state of vibration. For you, each vibrate at different frequencies. You would think that you are all vibrating at the same frequency because you all are the same three-dimensional objects for the most part, but each one of you vibrates in a different frequency, if you will, and this is why each person will experience this energy differently. Some of you will feel it ringing within you, and it will be a comfort, for you have felt this before, and it will feel pleasant, and you will recognize it. And some of you, it will be disconcerting, it will be bothersome, it will be off-putting, it will put you in a state of anxiety, maybe, perhaps. We can liken it to having your teeth drilled on in a dental procedure. The pressure and vibration, some will feel it like this. It will not be pleasant for them, but it is temporary. So this is, it is good that it is temporary, especially for those who will feel it that way. Some will feel very little, some will not experience it in any real type of way, for their own vibratory state is of such a different state, such a different place, that they might not experience much of anything or anything at all. So you see the gamut runs very wide on people's experiences. For this group as a collective, I would say most of you will experience it in the first two ways mentioned. You will either experience it in a pleasant way, in a familiar way, or you will feel it in the unpleasant way. The unpleasant way is not because it is something negative or bad. It is just that it is... We are searching for the right words to explain. It is more like getting shaken up. You will be getting shaken up, and for some of you that will feel uncomfortable. For some of you it will be uncomfortable. But do not fear it and do not fret it. It is overall for the best and greatest good of the planet as a whole, and for you individually also as a whole. It is something positive. Next question. Whew, that's hard to open my eyes. Okay. Wisdom about the universe. So we're not actually talking to the consciousness of the comet thing, the object thing. But whoever is sharing this information, could you perhaps give us some wisdom or insight from the object's perspective of the universe, because they are coming from a different place in the universe. They're not from within our solar system or anywhere near here. What is some things that it knows about, that it has experienced perhaps about the universe? Please and thank you. Whoever mentioned that it was a wanderer, that is accurate. It has been traveling for millennia through various parts of deep space, sometimes where there is nothing at all. There is nothing from your perspective. It does not mean that there is nothing. But from your perspective, it would seem as if there is nothing. It's that empty space of which you all are familiar with. It has been many, many places. It has seen many, many things, and it has helped many, many other planets in their own vibrational shifting different ways, not always necessarily in the same way that your planet is shifting. There's other kinds of shifting, different types of levels, different types of levels, if you will. It can help other places in the same way, but through different levels, through different shifts, through different types of shifting. And that's precisely what it does. One of the questions is, what is its goal? Then it has two goals. There are twofold goals here. The first goal is just to travel, to be in motion at all times through the vastness of the source. And the second goal is to assist in the planetary logos shifting, to be of assistance with its own energy of the vibratory state to help other planetary systems and planets of their own shifting. That is the two goals. always be in motion and be of assistance to planetary beings as they are transitioning from one level to another. What's the next question? What is it made of? What is this object made of? Mostly of elements that you are familiar with. Mostly of elements that you are familiar with, of which you would generally refer to as rock, stone. There are elements of which you are not aware of that make up the chemistry of this object, and this instrument forgot to write down one of the things she experienced. It was that it has hitchhikers. This is accurate. There are living things on it that travel through space and time on this object. You, of your planet, do not have the knowledge that living things can exist in the vacuum of space, but there are things that can exist in the vacuum of space if they are on something else, regardless of whether it contains an atmosphere of what you are familiar with, and that is what is on this object, is little hitchhikers. Do not think of the alien. Do not think of the alien of which you were looking up butts earlier. This is not the type of hitchhiker we refer to. Microscopic items, microscopic objects, microscopic little creatures, bacteria, viruses. It has its own biome, this object. Just like all things, it has a biome of bacteria and such that survive upon it, that use its elements. This is the hitchhikers of which she was picking up on, and she should write that in her notes. What's the next question? When will we see an impact on our consciousness or impact in general? Okay, that was the next questions. When can we expect? So this is me talking now to the energy that's coming through. So you were talking about how we would feel either at home and at peace with the energy, or we would feel kind of off put by it, or some people wouldn't really feel anything. When can we expect to start feeling that? What's the greatest impact time for us for that? Please and thank you. The calculations for when you can expect it to be the closest to the Earth are off, but only slightly. The weeks leading into your month of December will be the beginning, and it will seem to run its course through the rest of the month you call December. Some may continue to feel effects through parts of your new year. Do not be surprised if the trajectory and speed of this object changes as it becomes closer. It is not a danger to your physicality, but you might notice the speed change. I think there was one question left, and the question was, I can remember without opening my eyes. It was, where is it going? Where does it go next? So they're being weird about this question because this is okay. It's not that this hasn't been weird already, right? Like, we're getting information about an interstellar object from some sort of energy that's telling us information about it. But this is going to get weirder. So just buckle up. Because what they're saying is, to the question, where is it going? Where is it going next? Is that there's decisions that have to be made about where it goes next. And I don't know who's making those decisions, but doesn't that imply something completely different about what this thing is? Because this whole time it's like, it's a rock, it's a comet. It's like, they're not using the word comet, they're not using the word asteroid, but they're saying it's a rock. But then who's deciding where it's going? What the hell does that mean? Does that mean that it has its own consciousness and it's deciding where it's going? Or are there some greater beings that are deciding where it's going? Or is it like some ET folks that are deciding where it's going? Who the hell's deciding where it's going? See, for every question that we get an answer for, we get 20 more questions. I'm just going to see if we can get like a tiny little bit more information about that. They're laughing. They're laughing at me. Thanks. They're saying that we don't need to know who decides who's deciding where it goes, but that we should just know that it's going to be decided where it goes next based on what the greatest good that it can do next. Like, where is the place it can go that will do the greatest good next? So whatever consciousness is behind this object and its purposes, it's definitely benevolent, because they're trying to help others and help other places and for the greatest good, which is really cool. Okay, I'm going to come out of this. I know that you guys probably have other questions too, but I'm going to have to wrap this up for tonight. So they said I need to go back and write in my notes that I picked up on the hitchhikers. I did pick up on it. There being hitchhikers on there, and I didn't know what that really meant. But they said it was basically like bacteria. All right. Thank you, energy, whatever you might have been, or came through to answer our questions. So the hands releasing this wonderful rock makes sense now. Yeah, because there's some sort of conscious energy that is helping it move through space and time. All right, friends. Well, that was a lot of information. That was a lot of stuff that came through. I'm very excited that so many people participated in the remote viewing and that we got very similar things. Once again, we all saw something different, but we also experienced similar things. I think we got some really cool answers to our questions, and some of it was kind of what I was expecting, and some of it wasn't. So I'm really glad that we did this tonight. It was very fun. And I'll be interested to see if what they said about how we'll experience it, if that happens, if people experience it the way that it was saying that we would. We'll have to wait and see. But it's not that long. What? I mean, the end of November is a month from now. So keep it in the back of your mind through November, December, into January, and we'll see. We'll come back and regroup, see what happened.